I'm on a mission to get my spark back this year. For me, part of that comes from my physical health. So right now, I'm focusing on weight loss and building new healthy habits so that I can become the best version of myself. However, changing my whole life overnight is neither realistic or sustainable. Instead, I believe in making small changes every day that will make me feel better in the long run. This is my journey. I'm starting this week at 199.6 pounds, and my goal is to get in the 150s by the end of the year. First of all, let me acknowledge I'm finally in the 100s. I'm so incredibly excited to be done with the 200s. They are behind us. I never want to see them again. And now I'm concentrating on moving forward. So here's my current weight loss plan. I want to eat at least 100 grams of protein a day and be in a calorie deficit. For me, that means about 2,000 calories a day. I'm also aiming to drink at least a gallon of water a day. And for me, that means about 3 of these. Finally, in terms of movement, I want to hit at least 8,000 steps a day and go to the gym and do some weightlifting at least 4 times a week. I'm 1 month in on my journey, and so far I've lost about 5 pounds. And so since the plan seems to be working, I'm just gonna stick to it. We've established a foundation, and now it's time to refine it and just become better and better until it becomes almost automatic. Right now, I'm about to go grocery shopping because I'm out of all of my staples, and I know that it's going to be chaotic if I don't have access to the things that so far have made me successful. And so it's time for a little restock. All right, so here is the complete grocery haul. We have some chicken burgers, some fries, as well as some savory wedges. I love these. I also got some little yellow potatoes so that I can roast them in the air fryer, some mini cucumbers, burger buns, of course, some lettuce, Oreo minis so that I can crush them or just put them in my yogurt bowls, some tomatoes. I got some dark chocolate because apparently it helps with headaches when you're on your period, and I'm about to hit my period, so I figured I would try it. And finally, some frozen mango chunks. Not a massive grocery haul because I already had a lot of items at home, but I needed these to just feel in control and ready for the week. For lunch, I'm having one of my favorite go-to meals, which is a chicken burger with some savory potato wedges from McCain. So it's about 5 p.m. and I need to get my steps in. I thought I was gonna get them naturally throughout the day, but I ended up spending the afternoon on my couch, cramping up like crazy. I started my period, and so I just don't want to move my body right now, but I need to hit my step goal, and I think movement might help me feel a little bit better. Still feeling very crampy, but I'll take it slow. I'm currently at 4,355 steps, so it's not like I have a massive gap to fill here. I'll try to do at least 30 minutes with a YouTube video, and we'll see where that leads us. Step goal is reached. For dinner, I'm having a burger salad. So this has lettuce, 100 grams of extra lean ground beef, some tomatoes, pickles, super sweet corn, and crispy fried onions, as well as my homemade burger sauce. If you want the recipe, you can check out last week's vlog. And then I have some fries on the side with a little bit of light mayo, and I'm gonna be enjoying that, of course, with a Diet Coke. This brings this meal to 553 calories, and so I'm ending my day at 1,803 calories for the day. Good morning. It's a little bit after 10. I slept in a little bit because I went to bed quite late. And so I am now about to have breakfast. I made myself oatmeal with some raspberries, almonds, Nutella, chia seeds, and hemp seeds for a total of about 450 calories and 17 grams of protein. Now I'm about to head on my little job search routine. I've started looking at potential job opportunities because if you didn't know, I am currently unemployed. I quit my job back in the fall because of burnout, and now I am ready to head back into the the field. And so I started looking at potential opportunities, and I tend to spend a little bit more time on Mondays to just go through the websites and try to comb through all of the opportunities, see what might be interesting for me, apply to a few jobs. And so that's exactly what I'm about to do. Now, the game plan for today is just to focus on steps because I have a work call this afternoon. I'm working freelance with my old employer, and I have a training session with them from 1 to 3 p.m. And so my plan is that after that, I'll be getting my steps in by walking on my walking pad. It's 3:30 and I just got off my freelance call, and I was about to hop on my walking pad to get my steps in, but I think I'm actually gonna go for an outdoor walk today because it's warm. It's above 0. And so I think it's the only day this week that it's supposed to be this nice out. It's not necessarily a sunny day. It's kind of very windy, so I'm gonna tie my hair up, but I think I might as well just make the most out of this nice weather. I'm excited for spring. I just want to be outside and not stuck inside all the time. So I'm gonna go get some fresh air. Let's do this. Still short on my step goals, so I hopped on my walking pad for a bit and watched some YouTube videos, and now I've officially reached my 8,000 steps for today. Tonight's dinner is an exact repeat of yesterday because I had some leftover extra lean ground beef. For some reason, this salad looks massive. I don't know if it's because it's a bigger bowl, but I feel like I have more lettuce in than I did yesterday. But anyway, this brings my total for today to 1,835 calories. Another day, another oatmeal.
Promise to take this man to be your husband.
Oh dear.
Hi, so it's time for dinner, and I'm aware that I haven't vlogged a lot today, and that's simply because today was rough. I woke up in the middle of the night because there was so much wind. Like, it has been insane how much wind we've had in the past, like, I want to say 24 hours. It woke me up in the middle of the night and I had difficulty falling back asleep. I kept waking up because of it, so I didn't really have a restful night's sleep. And I'll admit, because of that, it just threw all of my plans out the window. I was planning on going to the gym to refill a prescription today. I didn't do any of that stuff. I actually just ended up playing Pokemon Pokopia, which, let's take a moment to talk about this. I bought this game because everyone was talking about it, and I get the hype. It's really fun. I've been completely obsessed with it. I'll admit, it's not my favorite cozy game that I've played yet, and I think it's just because I'm still new to it. I've only started playing it a few days ago, and so I'm still getting the hang of it and trying to understand how the game works. I feel like it's a little bit less intuitive than a game like Dreamlight Valley, that to me remains my all-time favorite game, but it's in the same realm. So if you enjoy that kind of game, I think you would enjoy Pokemon Pokopia. But yeah, I've decided to just spend my day doing that. I've also decided to do a rewatch of Once Upon a Time, which used to be one of my all-time favorite shows, and I don't know why, I was just kind of in the mood to rewatch that show. I've seen a few posts on Instagram from the Disney Plus account recently, and I was just like, you know what? Kind of miss the show. So decided to do that. I also finally figured out how to hook my headphones to my TV. I didn't know that I could do that, and that has been a game changer. It's made me want to get my steps in. I'm already at 10,000 steps for today because I just watched 2 episodes and stepped on the walking pad at the same time. So that was a great way for me to at least get some kind of movement in. I'll admit, I wanted today to be my day where I go back to the gym because I know that the longer I push it off, the harder it's going to be to get back into it, and I would like to go back this week. I'm okay doing just steps for the moment. It's still working, and don't get me wrong, it's better than nothing, and it's okay to have days like today where nothing goes right and the only thing you can do is get your steps in, try to stay within your calorie deficit, and drink water. And that's what I did today. I am behind on my water, but aside from that, I am trying my best to do everything else right. I don't need to be perfect for it to work. I just have to remind myself of that. So because I've been very tired and exhausted, I've decided to order myself some takeout for dinner. So I ordered poulet rouge again. I think I showed that to you in last week's vlog, which for me was 2 weeks ago. I have the exact same bowl, but I'm trying a new sauce, which is their avocado sauce. So I'm gonna be trying that, but that will bring me to about 2,000 calories for today. Not perfect, but still a decent day. So here is my dinner in case you're intrigued. So I have some lettuce and some brown rice as my base. I have some chicken and it's marinated in a barbecue sauce. And then we have sweet pickles, cucumber, corn, some tomatoes, and I believe I'm supposed to have crispy onions. Yeah, we can see them over here. I'm very excited to eat this. I'm not feeling super hungry this morning and I have a massive headache because of my period. So I'm going to have a Premier protein shake, which I haven't had in ages, as well as a muffin bar. Good morning. So I finally managed to catch some sleep last night. Although for a while I was worried that I might not because I was in bed by 9 o'clock. I was getting tired. So I got ready, went to bed. And for some reason, I could not fall asleep. I just kept hearing noises around my apartment. Either it was like coming from outside or from upstairs, or my heating system was kind of acting up at one point and I just could not for the life of me fall asleep. So I ended up reading in bed until I want to say 1:30 a.m. I kept trying to fall back asleep, but it just wasn't happening. But I did finish my book. We'll talk about books a little bit later, but I am currently reading the Zodiac Academy series. And so last night I finished book 2. I've been really enjoying these books. Anyway, I eventually fell asleep and woke up at around 8:30 this morning. So not too bad, all things considered, but I still think I'm catching up on sleep. I'm a little bit behind, which could explain the headache that I've been having. But I also think it's just the fact that I'm currently on my period. I don't feel as bloated or I don't really have as many cramps as I used to in the first few days. But now the headache is always there. Like I always have some kind of tension headache. And so yesterday I was drinking a lot of Diet Coke because usually that helps me. I've also been trying to drink more water and I am just not really vibing with this period for some reason. I feel like my symptoms kind of differ from time to time. I remember last time I got my period, I was very bloated and I had a lot of cramps and that was the main symptom all the way through. But this time around, I think it's a headache and it's not fun. I'm really over it. But anyway, I feel a little bit better after I've had some sleep and took some Advil this morning, but I am still not feeling 100% great. So I'm not sure I'm actually going to the gym today. I do want to use today to be kind of a reset day, just get back on track with my good habits. I feel like the past couple of days, because of my period, I've been giving myself some grace and just not pushed myself as hard as I should. But today, I think I want to just get back into it and make sure that I stay focused. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now, right now, I'm actually about to head out. I have some errands to run and I want to get them out of the way now because I know that if I wait until later to do them, I probably will not want to. So I'm just gonna get that done now. And then when we come back, I might do a little bit of a tidy of my apartment, nothing major, but I just wanna refresh my space a little bit. And as I said, just get back on track with my goals.
I believe our best chance of winning this case is...
Got a little hungry, so I made myself a snack. So I'm having some hard-boiled eggs with some everything but a bagel seasoning. This stupid headache just won't go away. I've taken Advil. I'm even using Diet Coke for a little bit of like caffeine. And I don't know, it's just nothing I do is working right now. Like I've tried to drink more water. I'm just so fucking fed up. I have an ice pack on my head right now and I just want everything to go away. I hate being on my period. It sucks. I'm gonna try drinking this Gatorade G-Fit for electrolytes and see if that helps. For dinner, I made myself a little taco bowl. So here I have some extra lean ground beef with taco seasoning, some roasted potatoes in the air fryer to which I've added a little bit of olive oil. I have some tomatoes, some lettuce, some corn, and I made myself a little light sauce with some light mayo, some Taco Bell taco sauce, and some lime juice and garlic. And that brings my total for today to 1,765 calories and 108 grams of protein. This meal is so good. I think I've just discovered one of my new favorite go-tos. Good morning. I feel like I must look terrible, but that's because I low-key feel like it. The last 16 hours have been complete hell. I'm not gonna lie. I just could not deal yesterday. Like the pain became so much worse. The headache that I've been complaining about just migrated into a full-on migraine. I could not deal. Like I was nauseated. I had to drag myself to take a shower and went to bed at 9 o'clock with an ice pack on my forehead because the pain was so terrible. Like I kept taking the Advil the way that I usually take it every 6 hours. Nothing was working. I was just done with the day. I didn't even hit my step goal yesterday. I was at 4,000 steps, but the idea of getting movement in after my dinner, because like before dinner, it was manageable, but not great. Like it started becoming terrible right before dinner. And that's why I didn't film myself making dinner yesterday. I was fully planning on showing you everything that I did to make the taco bowl, but I just was not feeling great. So I just showed you the final product. And while I was having dinner, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I just needed to have some food in me. Maybe that's why I was starting to feel terrible. But after dinner, it just became worse. And so I could not, honestly, I could not do anything. I just was not feeling great. And so this morning I woke up still feeling like I had a migraine, but it's better now. I've taken some Advil, I have had food, I've had my regular oatmeal with raspberries, Nutella, all that stuff. And now I'm sipping on a Gatorade G-Fit. I'm hoping that today will be going better, fingers crossed. Now, I don't want to push myself too hard too fast because I feel like if I just go on and try to do my 8,000 steps in like right now, I probably will fall back into that terrible zone that I was in yesterday. And I really want to avoid that today. So I'm going to try to take it slow, get a few steps in. If I don't hit 8,000 steps today, that's fine. I hope I can get back on track and just get back into my regular routine. But you know, if I can't because my body is telling me you don't want to do that, I will not, because honestly yesterday was so bad. I don't know the last time it has been this bad with my period. I don't think it ever has. So definitely something that I will have to monitor, because I may have to go see a doctor about this. It's not normal. Like I've had headaches before, but nothing as bad as it was yesterday. And so I definitely need to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Anyway, so today the game plan is just to do my best with what I have. Yesterday the food part was okay. Like I hit my protein goal for the first time in a while, which I was really happy about. I went a little bit above in terms of my calories, however, because I had a post-dinner treat. Like I had a pudding cup and a few mini Oreos, and I kind of overdid it with the Oreos. So I ended my day at 2,100 calories, which is not too bad, especially being on my period. But I want to make sure that today, like if the diet portion is under control, I think at least that will be kind of a relief for me, because water-wise, I try to drink my water, but usually I'll admit I drink most of my water at night before I go to bed. And yesterday I just, with the way I was feeling, I could only take tiny sips of water here and there. I could not chug the way that I would normally. So I think I ended up maybe drinking 2 waters yesterday out of the 3 that I try to do. So we did not hit that goal. And then movement wise, like I said, didn't do that. So yeah, today, baby steps. I'll try to get as close to the goals as I can with the way that I feel. Like right now it's okay, but that's because I just took my Advil, I want to say an hour ago. So maybe as we head towards like the 6-hour mark before I have to take it again, I'll feel worse. So I'm just going to try to do maybe a little bit of movement right now, see how I feel, and then just monitor my state throughout the day. So apologies in advance if the vlog is a little bit chaotic this week. Just feel like my motivation has been in the gutter because my body has been in the gutter. I'm trying my best. I'm going to try to take a little walk on my walking pad just to see how I feel. I'm thinking maybe 20-30 minutes just to get some movement in. I'll go maybe at a slower pace than usual and we'll reassess after that. I think I just may need to move my body a bit, not feel as sluggish, and we'll see how that goes, but let's try that. So that walk ended up being much longer than anticipated.
But then she became cursed.
For dinner, I'm having the exact same thing as yesterday, which is a taco bowl, but this time around I made it in a salad format, so same ingredients but in a salad bowl instead. So that brings my total for today at 1,841 calories and 76 grams of protein. I just finished my post-dinner cleanup and now I'm ready to head into bed and get some reading done. So I figured it would be the perfect time for me to give you guys a few book updates. I think in the last vlog I was still reading Brimstone by Callie Hart. Now since then I've actually finished the book, and I will say this is one of those that I struggled when it comes to rating it because I keep flopping between a 3 and a 4-star rating. Because here's the thing, when I finished it I gave it a 4 stars because I found that even though I struggled through the first half of the book, it really picked up in the end and I saw myself really enjoying it. And even in the beginning where I struggled, I still enjoyed what I was reading. I just couldn't really get into it. I kept getting distracted while reading. I didn't want to pick it up. That's why it took me 2 whole months to finish it. But when I reached the ending, I was like, oh, that was fun. Actually, I think I liked it. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, this to me just feels like a recycled material. It wasn't that obvious while I was reading, but when I was reflecting on it afterwards, I was just like, wait, I feel like I've read this already. And that could be why I struggled through this book. But also, this one was written slightly differently than the first book. The first book only followed Saris. In this one, we added a second POV. And while I understand why the author did that, I kind of wish that we'd followed a different character because the one that we're following doesn't bring any value to the story. I kind of wish that we'd followed Carry On instead. Not only is he one of my favorite characters personally, but I also know that he's going to become important later on in the series. And so I kind of wish that we'd follow him so that we could better understand him. Maybe the author is planning on including his POV later on in the series, but I think we would have been able to achieve the same end result if we'd had Carry On's POV in this. So I will say I was kind of disappointed by this, and I'm even questioning if I want to continue reading the series. I'm not going to lie, because if it's going to follow the same formula over and over again, I just don't think I want to do that, you know? I enjoyed the first book a lot. It's one of my favorite books that I've read last year, and I want to say even favorite books of all time when it comes to romantasy. I just really loved it, but this was a letdown, and I just don't know if the rest of the series is going to follow the same pattern or not. But anyway, finally finished it. Still enjoyed it. I know it sounds very negative. I did enjoy myself, but I just wanted something different out of this, and unfortunately it did not meet my expectations. Now, after finishing Brimstone, I was in the mood for something quick and fast-paced that I could really binge, and so I decided to pick up Zodiac Academy. Now listen, this was not a plan at all. I don't even know why I decided to pick it up. I just know that one day I woke up and I was like, I think I want to read Zodiac Academy, and that's exactly what I did. I never saw myself as someone who wanted to read the series because it's pitched as this bully romance, and this is definitely not a trope that I tend to enjoy, but I still decided to give it a shot, and God, I was hooked. So let me give you a quick synopsis for this. We basically follow the Vega twins. They are living in Chicago and they're kind of roughing it out, meaning their life is not easy. One day, someone arrives and tells them, hey, you're the lost heirs to this throne and you need to come with me to go to this academy to learn how to manage your powers, because yes, you have powers, you're magical beings. So they get whisked away to this academy. But here's the thing, when they arrive, they find out that there are these people, right, that took over when their parents died, and now these people, they have children who will one day, or should have one day, inherited the throne themselves. And let's just say that these 4 heirs are not happy about it, and so they make the twins' life a living hell. I flew through the first book. I think I gave that one in the end a 4-star rating, which I was so surprised by because I was not expecting that. But here's the thing, this read like a CW show. This to me was like Teen Wolf meets Gossip Girl in a Hogwarts-esque setting, and it had the writing of a good like popcorn TV show. It was so bingeable. I could not put the book down. I read that I think in 24 hours. It was so addictive. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about this, and that surprised me a lot, was the world building. So they're Fae, right? And because it's called Zodiac Academy, you imagine that the whole Zodiac thing is important, and it is. But I do wish that it was more prevalent in this book. I feel like so far we haven't really explored the Zodiac part of things, because here's the thing, there are also 2 other components of the magic system here that are super important. First is elemental magic. They all have affinity with at least one of the 4 elements. I say at least because some of them have an affinity with multiple elements. And on top of that, we also have orders. So you could be like a vampire, a werewolf, a Pegasus, and that is how you replenish your powers. So because of that, there's so many components to this world, right? And I felt like the first book was just scratching the surface of the world building, and it was a little confusing, I'm not gonna lie, but I did really enjoy it. And so when I finished book 1, I immediately picked up book 2. And that one, I savored a little bit more. I think it took me, I wanna say 4 days to finish it. And that's a book that I actually finished the other night when I couldn't sleep. Once again, really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. I like that this one still had the bully element, obviously, but in this one, the twins start to fight back. And that I enjoyed, because in the first book, I just felt like Tori and Darcy, our 2 twins, were just taking it and couldn't really fight back because they didn't have the ability to. But now they're starting to understand the game and they are starting to get their revenge. And I really enjoy that. I really like the character development in that one too. I feel like we not only got to really understand the twins, but we're starting to better understand side characters as well, or even other main characters that didn't necessarily have a POV. Anyway, I really like their relationship and character development in that one. And once again, the world building, I'm obsessed with it. I really love it. After I finished book 2, I actually picked up book 3, which I'm currently reading. It's called The Reckoning, but I'll admit, I'm starting to feel like it's getting a little bit repetitive. And so it's not that I'm not enjoying it. The storyline is different, right? I just feel like there's still the same elements being recycled over and over again. And I still am planning on continuing the series and everything. I just think I need a break right now. Even though like I'm really intrigued by what's been pitched for this one. There's been a lot of allusions to little seeds that have been planted here and there about what's to come in this one. And I am very curious to see how that's going to unfold. One of the things that I love about this universe so far is that it's made me theorize a lot. Like I don't know who's going to end up with who. I still don't know the events that are going to occur. And whenever I see something, I'm like, ooh, I need to remember that because it's making me think this is going to happen. And I feel very engaged reading this series, but I kind of need a little break, which is why I ordered a few books recently and I got them in the mail today. So I figured I could unbox them. I don't have my entire order yet, but the book that I want to read tonight is in there. So I ordered books 2 and 3 in the Ernest Cunningham series. So we have Everyone on This Train is a Suspect and Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret by Benjamin Stevenson. So I read Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone, I think it was 2 years ago. Really loved that book. I love the way that it was written. I also really love a good closed door mystery. And so I was obsessed with this. I gave that book 5 stars. I was fully expecting to continue on with the series, but it wasn't something that I was necessarily actively pursuing. Like it wasn't a high priority series for me, but I knew one day I wanted to pick it up. And lately I've seen a lot of advertisements for book 4, which just came out. I've also ordered it, but I haven't received it yet. I don't know why, but in the past few days, I've been in the mood for a mystery, and I don't know if it's because I've seen the ads or if it's just that I'm in the mood for a change of pace and I want to read another closed door mystery. This one I'm very excited about because I love books set on trains, especially when it's a mystery. I don't know what it is, but I used to be obsessed with like mysteries set on trains, and so I'm just very excited to read this. I love the writing style of this. It's feeling a lot thinner than book 1 was. I think it's a short one compared to the first book. It's barely 300 pages. Wow. Okay, well, I am still very excited to read this, and so I think that's exactly what I'm going to do tonight. I just want to pick up something different, and I think this is going to be perfect. I don't know if I'll be reading book 3, which is the Christmas one, soon. I thought this was a novella, and it is. Like, the length of it is very short. We're talking like not even 200 pages. But for some reason, on Goodreads, it says that it's a full book, like it's book number 3, theoretically, in the series. So I figured that if I wanted to pick up book 4, which I should be receiving soon, I had to read this one. Kind of disappointed that I have a hardcover, but it wasn't available in paperback, so we're stuck with this. Just realized that I reached 10,000 steps for today. I'm once again having oatmeal with raspberries, Nutella, and sliced up almonds for breakfast. For lunch, I'm having another chicken burger with some fries on the side and, of course, a Diet Coke. Okay, so I'm realizing that it's 2:30 p.m. and I don't even have 1,000 steps in under my belt so far, so I definitely need to get my body moving. I could potentially go to the gym, but it's been snowing all day and I quite frankly don't feel like taking my car today. I'm really over winter, I'm not gonna lie. Today's theoretically the first day of spring, but it doesn't feel like it. Anyway, so I think I'm just gonna step on my walking pad for a bit, put on a YouTube video, and just walk to reach my goal, and tomorrow we'll try our best to go to the gym. time for a little snack. So it's 6:15, it's about time for dinner, and I'll admit I'm not very hungry. I'm feeling peckish, like I could definitely eat something, but I don't necessarily want a big meal. So I think I'm gonna go for something simple. I'm also not really in the mood to cook. So I think I'm gonna do some scrambled eggs, some toast, and maybe like some fruit on the side, or instead of toast I could do potatoes. But I think I want to do kind of a breakfast for dinner situation so that it'll be simple, easy, and relatively quick. So here is my dinner. We have 3 scrambled eggs, half a cup of frozen mango chunks that I've defrosted in the microwave. I have 100 grams of little potatoes that I've roasted in the air fryer, 1 piece of toast with some peanut butter on top, for a grand total of 600 calories. And that brings my total for today to 1,820 calories. Good morning. Today I'm having, you guessed it, another oatmeal for breakfast. I feel like I'm finally back to myself today. I finally have my energy back and I'm just ready to take on the world. And so I'm gonna tackle a few house projects today that I've just been putting off. The first one being emptying these bags. So this is filled with dishware that my grandmother is no longer using because we moved her into a home recently. And so she had a lot of like plates and cups and whatnot that she was not using anymore. And so I decided to keep it all. My mom boxed everything up. She also pre-washed everything so I won't have to do that. And this has been sitting in my entryway for like, I want to say at least 2 weeks. And today is the day that we're emptying them and just putting everything away. Dishwasher is really loud. So it's time for lunch, and of course I made myself another chicken burger. I know my meals have been very boring recently. I've been repeating the same things over and over again, especially when it comes to breakfast and lunch. I feel like dinner is the one area where I'm allowing myself a little bit more flexibility, but for the most part I've been repeating the same things, and that's because I think I was overcomplicating it. I have been trying to have different meals all the time, and I feel like that was just taking up so much mental space and energy. And now I have a few meals on rotation that I know I love, that are simple to make, and that will get me to my goals. I don't want to make this complicated because I think that's when it's easier for me to say, oh, I'm just going to give up because it's not working. Whereas right now, yes, my meals are boring, but at least I know I can rely on them. I know how I'm going to feel afterwards. I know if it's going to help me achieve my goals or not. And I just love having that certainty in my day. It's one less thing that I have to worry about, and I just love that about it. So sorry if my meals are a little bit boring right now, but you know what? This is a journey. This is a process. Anyway, I'm gonna eat that and enjoy that while watching some YouTube videos. I'm also gonna be sipping on a Nilani because my plan is to go to the gym. I have my gym outfit on already. And so this afternoon, I wanna hit the gym and get a workout in. I also will be continuing to sip on my water. I'm almost done with water number 1. We'll talk about the water goal, I think, in the final recap. I do wanna make some maybe modifications moving forward, but for the most part today, I'm decently making progress. I'm almost done with my first water. So I think I probably will be able to finish that before hitting the gym, and then we can have another 40 ounces while I'm working out. Now let's go to the gym.
Everyone is dressed up here, but looks
This honestly felt so good. I'm so glad we did that. Now let's go home. I made myself a little post-workout snack. So we have 2 hard-boiled eggs with everything bagel seasoning. And I was also in the mood for something sweet. So we have half a cup of mango chunks, and I'm gonna enjoy that while continuing my book. It's time for dinner, and tonight I'm going to make a poke bowl. First, let me measure up my rice. I don't have a lot left, but you know what? It's completely fine. We're gonna do a 1/4 cup of edamame. Oh, I forgot, I wanted to add Kewpie mayo, so let's do that. I'm going to prepare some mango chunks. We're gonna put those in the microwave. Next, we're gonna add a baby cucumber. I'm gonna slice that up. My mango is ready, so let's add that. And now I'm gonna add some baby carrots. I don't have a lot. Once again, I think I'm running out on my poke ingredients, but that's fine. And we're just gonna cut that up. Now I have my poke that I need to add. I think this one is from the grocery store and not from Costco, because usually the ones from Costco are a bit bigger. So I think there's less salmon in this, but it's okay. We're using what I have. Still as tasty in my opinion. Finally, I'm just going to top it off with some fried onions. And there you have it. It looks so good. I'm so excited to dive in. I'm ending my day at a little bit over 2,000 calories, and while it's my goal, I'm still craving that sweet treat. For some reason, dinner time is the only moment where I kind of want a sweet treat after my meal. Lunch is fine. I typically don't crave that sweetness, but I kind of need something sweet to close my days. Lately, I've been really loving having squares of dark chocolate, which I bought earlier this week, and I've been having it every single night. So this one is the Irresistibles Finesse dark chocolate sea salt, and I absolutely love it. I usually will have 2 squares, which is about 100 calories, and I just feel like it's a perfect way to wrap up my day and just signal to my body, listen, it's time to shut down. I don't know exactly what it is about it, but I've just been really enjoying that, so I'm going to do that while I finish up this YouTube video.
26, for those of you who are not weighing on fabric calendars, you're able to download them visually.
It's time for the final recap. First of all, let me just say, we've made it. The week is over and we can now move on. I'll admit, this one was really tough thanks to my period, but I'm really glad that I managed to stick to my goals as much as possible, and I did my best regardless of the situation. And for me, that's an achievement, because I know that past me would have used this as an opportunity to say, oh, let me just forget about this whole weight loss thing and just focus on what makes me feel good in the moment, because usually that's what I need during my period. I need comfort. I want to be cozy. I want to just say fuck it to everything else, but I didn't do that. This week, I still showed up, I still tried my best, and the results are there. I'm ending this week at 197.4 pounds. I'm so impressed by this number. I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting it, because I've been weighing myself in every day, and the number on the scale was fluctuating a lot. I went up and down and up and down, and so I knew that it was due to my period for the most part, because there are usually hormonal fluctuations that can affect the scale. Also, I was drinking more electrolytes and whatnot because it would help me with my headaches, and so I was expecting weight gain. And especially since yesterday I went to the gym, I thought the scale probably won't move all that much, but I'm okay with how this week went regardless, because for me, this week was truly a show of consistency. I feel like I was able to stick to everything that I wanted to do. Regardless of how I felt, I just pushed myself to get my steps in, stay within my calorie deficit. And yes, I did not hit every single one of my goals, but I still did the best that I could in this situation. And I'm honestly so proud of myself. And the fact that now the scale reflects that, I am ecstatic. I'm just so excited to continue this journey. And also, this week has been very eye-opening for me. I would say the past 2 weeks have been, because as you saw, I have not been perfect with my water. I've not been perfect with the gym. In fact, I don't think I did a single one of those things this week. Well, the protein is not true. I did hit 100 grams of protein one day, but for the most part, I did not hit every single one of my goals. And yet the results are still there. So I'm kind of shifting my mindset moving forward. Instead of trying to achieve all of those things, which honestly, to me, now that I can see it, I realized that this was my overachiever behavior showing up, meaning that I'm usually the kind of person who will bite off more than I can chew. The fact that I was trying to achieve all of those things and be perfect from day one just shows to me how this affects me in all areas of my life, not just my career. Anyway, I'm kind of shifting my mindset to focus on one thing at a time. Right now, the steps have become automatic. They're part of my daily non-negotiables. I do get my steps in every day, regardless of what happens outside of that. I always make sure to hit at least 8,000 steps. This week, there's only one day where I didn't do that, and that's because I felt physically unable to do it. Other than that, I've been showing up and I've been loving this part of my day. Right now, I think I'm focusing mostly on the calorie deficit. This is the part where not only do I think it's going to have the biggest impact on my weight loss, because at the end of the day, what will allow me to lose weight is eating within a calorie deficit, but also it's a part where I feel like I'm almost there. I've been making a lot of changes within my diet and I finally feel in control around food. I feel like my relationship with food has changed quite a bit over the past couple of weeks and I'm really happy with where we're headed and I just want to keep on improving and getting better. So I'm kind of letting go of all of the other goals for now. They're still there. I still want to achieve eventually drinking a gallon of water a day, going to the gyms 4 times a week, eating at least 100 grams of protein every day. Those are things that eventually I want to be able to do because I know they're going to help me become my best self. But instead of putting so much pressure on myself to achieve every single one of those things, I would rather master one habit at a time. We're done with the steps and now we're focusing on the calorie deficit. That's it. So now let's take a closer look at each of our goals. Number 1, the calorie deficit. As I said, this is one where I feel like I'm almost there. This week I've been trying out new recipes and I feel like I'm slowly building a roster of recipes that I can rely on, that I know I love, that are quick, simple, and goal-friendly. Now for protein, I think on average this week I was at about 84 grams of protein every day, which is not bad. I feel like it's close to 100 still. There's only one day this week where I went above 100 grams and that's because I had a protein shake. Otherwise, I probably would have been at about 90 grams of protein. So I think this is one thing where I want to keep improving, but as I've previously mentioned, this is kind of one goal that I'm letting go of for now at least. I just want to keep on focusing on the calorie deficit while still trying to reach my protein goal, but I don't feel the pressure to hit a certain number anymore. At least for now, I'm in this era where I just want to focus on meals that I find fun, that are good for me, and that make me feel good. I don't want to put any more pressure on myself when it comes to the protein because this is one area that I was feeling very disappointed in myself and that I was kind of blaming myself for not doing the right thing. But you know what? What I'm doing right now works for me. So I'm just going to keep on going and try to improve a little bit. But for the most part, I am just done with putting pressure on myself when it comes to protein. Now for my water goal, this week has been a little bit weird water-wise because I have not been tracking whatsoever. Usually I try to keep track of where I'm at with my water goal, but this week I just didn't want to do that. But I think if I had to guess, I probably was at about 2 of these a day, which is about 80 ounces of water. Now, it's not the best, but it's also not terrible. Moving forward, I want to maybe focus on making water more of a habit and not so much focus on the number. I just want to drink as much water as I can. I think 80 ounces is better than nothing at all. But once again, I want to let go of the pressure and just start maybe building the habit of drinking water at certain times because one thing that I've noticed, and I've mentioned that in several vlogs already, I struggle with pacing. I find that I chug a lot of my water at night, and to me, that signals that I'm probably not drinking enough water throughout the day. So I would like to maybe start implementing having a glass of water when I wake up in the morning or with my meals. That's kind of where my head is at water-wise. Now for movement, steps have become automatic. At this point, as I've said before, they've become a daily non-negotiable for me. And there's only one day this week where I couldn't get my steps in. And I say couldn't because it wasn't a wouldn't. It was really I felt ill and I couldn't stand up without feeling nauseated and I just didn't want to put my body through that. But other than that, I've been getting my steps in consistently every single day. I think I'm inching closer to averaging about 10,000 steps a day, which for me is amazing. It's something that I never thought I would be able to do, but now I am headed towards that. I'm still keeping my goal at 8,000 because for me, that's kind of like the baseline, and eventually we can maybe increase it a little bit. But for now, I'm really loving the fact that I'm getting my steps in every day. One thing that I want to optimize or that I want to improve over the next few weeks is getting my steps in outside, possibly. Listen, I love my walking pad and it's been a lifesaver, especially at this time of year where the weather is just not great. But I know for my mental health, it would be even better if I could get my steps in outside. Finally, for the gym. First of all, we went back. That's the one thing this week that I wanted to achieve. Yes, I only went once this week, but for me, it was all about getting myself back into that habit. And that gym session yesterday was honestly so fun. I don't remember the last time I felt this good going to the gym. And it might be because it had been a while since I had gone, but I just felt so excited to be there. The playlist was hitting. The machines that I wanted to use were free. I don't know. Everything just aligned mind, and I had like a really great moment, and I want to recreate that in the upcoming weeks. 4 times a week is kind of like my best self scenario. Like this is what I would like to achieve, but for now I'm kind of letting go of that, and I would rather build consistency with the gym, because here's the thing. The first 3 weeks of my journey, I was very consistent. I was trying to go 3 to 4 times a week, and then I stopped going for 2 weeks entirely, and now I'm going again. So I'd like to maybe build consistency. If I go only once a week, but I go every single week, I would rather do that than not go at all. So right now I'm kind of hoping, I think maybe 2 times a week would be better than nothing. That would be awesome. Eventually we can build up to 4, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. As I said, I'm tired of complicating the process. I just want to make it simple and honestly enjoy this journey. So that is the plan moving forward. Make sure to subscribe if you want to follow along on my journey. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I guess I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!